to me, Ka'amcha Yisrael's PARASHAT REAH, where we explore the transformative power of choice and positivity. The parasha begins with the pasuk, REAH Anochi noten lefnechem hayom beracha ukelala. See, I present before you today a blessing and the other way. In his final 37-day address before his passing, Moshe Rabbeinu spoke to all of Am Yisrael. Yet he began his message of free choice with the singular word REAH, look. This seemingly simple word carries profound significance. Why did Moshe choose look? Because our perspective, how we see things, is the foundation of our choices and ultimately our lives. This emphasis on individual choice sets the tone for our exploration of personal responsibility and growth. Chazal explained that Moshe addressed each individual, urging them to choose life by viewing situations positively. How often do we find ourselves at a crossroads choosing how to perceive our challenges? When faced with difficulties, we may not control the circumstances, but we can control our response. And this is where our true power lies. Rav Zelig Pliskin notes that this mindset is the key to happiness. Every experience is simply a fact. Its significance depends on our perspective. We decide whether it's positive, negative, or neutral. Consider this. If we view a breakdown of a car as a disaster, we're going to be miserable. But if we see it as an opportunity for exercise or a moment to reflect, our mood shifts completely. Moshe's message is clear. Look and see the positive. Each of you can choose life by choosing how you react to circumstances. This lesson reminds us that in every situation we have the power to choose our outlook. Remember, your attitude determines your altitude in life. The story of Rabbi Yisrael Meir HaKohen Kagan Zatzal, the revered Chafetz Chaim, serves as a powerful illustration of this very principle. The Chafetz Chaim spent most of his life in the small town of Radin, yet surprisingly, he held no official position as a Rav or Rosh Yeshiva. This secret remained unknown until after his passing, when his son-in-law, Rabbi Aharon Kohen Zatzal, shared a confidential conversation he had with his father-in-law. Earlier in life, Rabbi Aharon had struggled to find a position in Rabbanut, and he expressed his frustration to the Chafetz Chaim, and to his surprise, the Chafetz Chaim discouraged him from pursuing it, sharing a pivotal story that had led him to decline the position of Rav himself. Buckle up. In his early days of Rav in Radin, Rabbi Yisrael Meir faced a crisis when a local butcher was caught selling, you've heard it, non-kosher meat, causing widespread dismay among the Jewish community. The townspeople demanded a swift action, and Rabbi Yisrael Meir promptly revoked the butcher certification, stripping him of his presumption of his innocence. The butcher's business quickly collapsed, and days later, a remorseful butcher appeared before the Rav, overcome with emotion. Rabbi, he cried, I committed a terrible wrong. I've hurt you, the community, and my family, and I'm consumed by regret, and I seek to make amends. Please guide me on how to remove this stain from my conscience. Rabbi Yisrael Meir carefully observed the butcher's contrition, noting his sincere tears and bodily tremors. The Rav then prescribed a rigorous path of repentance, including a substantial donation of 40 liters of oil to the local Bet Midrash, ensuring its warmth and illumination for an extended period. The butcher eagerly accepted the terms and fulfilled them completely. Nevertheless, this shame and anguish ultimately proved too much to bear, and he passed away soon after. One night, while studying in the Bet Midrash, the Chafetz Chaim felt this overwhelming fatigue wash over him, and before he knew it, his head nodded forward and he drifted off into a brief slumber. In his vision, 3 majestic figures approached him, their eyes radiant, their presence was commanding, and the leader addressed him, Yisrael Meir, do you recall the incident of the butcher who sold the non-kosher meat? You instructed him to pay 40 liters of oil to the Bet Midrash. Tell us, what was the purpose of this payment? Was it a punitive fine meant to deter him and other merchants from such wrongdoing, or was it a penitential act intended to complete his teshuvah process? The Yem Chafetz Chaim was taken aback. He was rendered speechless by the question, and the leader of the 3 majestic figures urged Rabbi Yisrael Meir to respond, insisting they would not depart until he did so. After a moment of intense contemplation, he replied that, to the best of his recollection, the payment of the 40 liters of oil was indeed a fine. Instantly, the three men vanished. Rabbi Yisrael Meir awoke from his slumber feeling groggy and returned to his studies. However, he soon felt again this overwhelming fatigue, and he closed his eyes. This time, he saw the butcher appearing haggard and distraught, accusingly calling out to him, "Rabbi, look what you did to me!" When I stood before the heavenly tribunal, they sought to condemn me to an extended period in Gehinnom due to my egregious sin. But I argued that I already had made amends by performing genuine teshuvah and paying a substantial sum to the local Bet Midrash. The accusing angel, however, dismissed this claim, saying it wasn't part of my teshuvah process. It was decided to consult you and inquire about your true intention. But now, since you revealed that it was merely a punishment for my sin and not an atonement, I'm doomed to endure the fiery torments of Gehinnom. This vision profoundly impacted the Chafetz Chaim, leading him to relinquish his position as Rav and never re-enter the Rabbanut again. This frightening story should remind us all of the weight of our choices and what it carries, not just in this world, but beyond. And as we reflect on Moshe Rabbeinu's parting word, look and choose life, in the Chafetz Chaim's transformative encounter, we're lucidly reminded that our choices have far-reaching consequences. Let us take a moment to think about how we can apply this to our lives. Are we choosing to see the positive? Are we choosing life in every sense of the word? May Am Yisrael stand before the master choreographer and strive to view life's challenges through a lens of positivity and growth, recognizing that true freedom lies in our ability to choose how we react. And as we move into Elul and the summer winds down, let us uplift and support one another, spreading chesed and kindness and compassion. And by doing so, we'll create a ripple effect of goodness, ultimately choosing life and bringing light to ourselves and absolutely to all of those around us. Shabbat Shalom u'Mevorach.